What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Kinstretch class brought to you by Stretch Effect. My name is Coach Luke, and I will be taking you through today's 25-minute upper body focused Kinstretch class. So this class is going to be everything upper body. We're going to kind of put a lot of things together into one kind of upper body package, but we will need 2 tennis balls. So if you don't have tennis balls, you can use cross balls, you can use baseballs, you can use rolled up socks, really anything that's hard but allows you to squeeze, and it's going to help us create called irradiation or more tension. As I squeeze with my fingers, I get more contraction up from my fingers to my hands, my wrists, my forearms, to my biceps, triceps, all the way up through my body. It's just going to allow us to create a little bit more tension, a little bit more control, a little bit more intent as we go through a lot of our upper body motions here. So we'll start with our collapsed kneeling or seated, standing, tall kneeling, whatever you prefer, neck cars. So I'll just be in a collapsing position. Again, like you've done a class with before, you know, if you have block, you can sit on a block if that's more comfortable for the knees. You can stack 2 blocks, any position that you like from here. If you want to experiment with different positions, you can go to a half kneeling position. So you have one knee down, one knee here, and we're going to hold on to those tennis balls and just have them right down at our sides, just like we would make fists. We're just going to squeeze those tennis balls. We'll just create a little more tension. We'll squeeze the tennis balls, get forearms nice and tight, shoulders nice and tight. Everything's locked in. I'm going to chin to my chest. We'll do 2 reps to my right, so the chin collarbone. Ear over my shoulder, chin to the sky, over, chin down, and through. One more time, same direction. Everything stays down. Keep this fist reaching towards the floor. Keep that tension on the tennis balls. Chin to my collarbone, and through. Now let's reverse. Chin to my left, ear over my left shoulder, chin to the sky, rotate over, pour the water on my right ear. Chin to the collarbone, and through. One more time, shoulders stay down. Keep a good squeeze on those tennis balls here. Ear over, chin to the sky, rotate right ear over the shoulder, chin to the collarbone, and through. Very good. So next one, we're going to go to a tall kneeling position, and then we're just going to be here. I'm going to make fists. If you want to take that same block, you can squeeze the knees there, or you can go it to the side here, squeeze between the knees. Squeeze the blocks, squeeze the glutes, ribs are down, give a good contraction through the torso, squeeze those tennis balls. Now we're going to do our shoulder blade cars, our scapular cars from this position. So you're keeping the squeeze on the tennis balls. We're going to go up, forward, keep those hands right at your sides, squeeze those tennis balls tight. Again, that will help us create a little bit more tension, a little bit more focused contraction. Keep those hands right on your sides. Here we go, 3 reps. Squeeze back, over, down, hands move up and down, just don't let that move forward and back. Now reverse, lock out those elbows, squeeze back, forward, up, over, down and back, one more time, forward, up, over, squeeze back, pull back and down, as we come through to the center. From there, we're going to go to a half kneeling position. Block off to the side. I will keep that tennis ball, or keep both of them in my hands. I'll go hip width stance with my knees or with my feet. Squeeze the tennis ball, this left tennis ball will just stay nice and tight right to my side. I'm going to tuck that tailbone and squeeze my right glute. Right hand, squeeze that ball, rotate out, and I will go 2 shoulder cars across the body. So adduction, come across, come over. Body stays tight, ribs stay down, try not to shrug, try to stay down. Rotate, reach back, come all the way around, keep rotating that arm. Back my hand touches the side, I come down to my side, make sure I'm straight. Stand back, rotate over, back across the body, and through. Come across one more time. Over the top, rotate, reach back, all the way. Back of my hand comes to my side. Stand back, rotate over, all the way, across the body, and down. Switch knees, the same knee down is on the same side of the arm that's working here, so I'm going to come here. This right hand can stay like palm forward, palm to your side, whatever you prefer. This hand will come palm up, ribs down, squeeze that left glute to the side, come around, over, reach back, and back my hand hits my side, thumb goes up, rotate over, nothing else moves, come around, down. One more time, thumbs up, scrape the eyebrow with the bicep, reach and hit the top, I'm rotating the bicep around, anything else, chest goes forward, and hit the side, reverse, over, across the body, elbows locked out, down, and through. From there, you can stay tall kneeling, you go half kneeling, you can stay standing, seated, collapse kneeling. We're gonna go elbows. Okay, so elbows will be right on my rib cage. Squeeze that tentacle nice and tight. Shoulders are locked into my sides. And as I squeeze those tentacles, I'm gonna come up into my elbow car. So as I come up, I don't want to just face me with the palm. I want to think palms rotate out. Squeeze, rotate in, come down. And then I'm going to rotate up, squeeze those biceps, rotate in, come down. Let's reverse. Palms forward, rotate, down. Palms rotate forward, elbow pits stay forward so you can still see here. I'm coming up, rotating out, coming down, and relax. From there, we're going to do some elbow capsule power. So we're going to go 90 degrees. Elbows just go on my side. We're going to keep squeezing those sides balls. And I'm just going to rotate, rotate. So I'm just trying to do it's called supination. Holding the whole soup. And pronation. Don't have a good analogy for that. One more time. Supination, rotate, really try to squeeze more range. Squeeze those tentacles tight. It may feel different than if you're doing with the open palm like we normally do. And come down and relax. Okay. From here, we're going to go elbow card, wrist cards. If you want to do one at a time, you can just put one ball down and you can hold the wrist like we normally do. But for the sake of this class, you can do any position that you want, just like any of the other ones. We're going to go double on wrist cards. We're going to do 2 from the supinated position, so palms will be up, holding the tennis ball. We'll go 2 from pronated, which may feel kind of funky. If you can't get full pronation all the way over, you can definitely go for like a neutral grip as well. So elbows just squeeze the ribs, core stays engaged, keep squeezing the glutes, nothing else moves. Squeeze the tennis balls, I'm going to go in towards the midline. I'm going to go extension, out, up, in, extend, out, up, and reverse. Extend, come in, up, out, down, in, up, and back to center. Shake it out for a second if you need to. Do the same thing, pronated. So elbows to the ribs, palms down, squeeze the glutes, ribs down, squeeze those tentacles nice and tight. Try to stay, so this is pronation, right, where my palm is facing down. So as much as you can, try to stay in pronation. If you come out of it a little bit, that's totally normal, that's totally okay, but as you do it more, you really try to fight your pronation. This is going to feel funky, because we normally don't do it with a tennis ball in your hand, and we normally don't do it from a pronated position, right? We're very used to supinated cars. Now let's go pronated cars. So from here, thumbs towards the midline, we're going to flex, out, extend, in, down, out, up, in, now reverse, extend, out, up, and around. Really squeeze those tennis balls tight, good grip on there, and shake that. That's an extra one, but that's okay. Okay, that was upper body with the tennis ball. We're going to do some, we'll do linear, our cat-cow. For our linear spine, we don't need the tennis ball for that. And we're going to hold back, grab, go back to our tennis balls for our rotation spine car. So, linear spine car, like I said, throw the ball off to the side. We're just going to get linear motion here to kind of prime the spine for some more rotational movement that we're going next. So, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Tuck that tailbone, round it out, get as much spinal flexion as you can. So I'm going to tuck my tailbone, round out my thoracic spine, mid-back, and from there. We're going to go 2 reps each direction. So the tailbone, looking to extend. One vertebrae at a time. It's just lifting. We're trying to just pull away from that flex position. Super slow. Slower the better here. Try not to match my speed, right? Go at your own speed. Especially because if you're watching the video, you should be looking down anyway. So just go super slow. We're about mid-back. Thoracic spine, so kind of get the upper back. Kind of around the chest now. Try not to squeeze those shoulder blades. Just make the move one vertebra at a time. Collarbones. Chin can lift, but doesn't need to lift all the way up. So just extend the spine, extend the neck. And then I'm going to tuck the tailbone. Everything stays extended. Just tuck your tailbone. And work all the way back into flexion, one vertebra at a time. Cat, or from cow, I should say, to cat. All the way back up. Tuck, and one more time. So flex, cat. Work into cow. Slow. Take time. One vertebra at a time. Cow. Last half rep. Start at the tailbone. Work your way all the way back in. Really trying to tuck that tailbone under you. Try to stay everything extended as long as possible until it's really flexed. Down, squeeze, and relax. Okay? So with the spine, right? So we think about like our rules when it comes to our joints, right? When we train our joints, we always think rotation before linear. So that just means we train internal, external rotation, say before flexion, right? Because the better I can internally and externally rotate, that shows I have better what's called capsular space. So the actual space between, say, the head of my humerus and my joint capsule, or the head of my femur and my joint capsule. The better, more space I have in that capsule, the better what's called workspace, right? So that would be indicative of a better car, right? So then the better workspace I have, the better I can flex, extend, adduct, abduct, whatever I want to do with my shoulder, hip, and my other joints, right? With the spine, we say linear before rotation. So the better I can flex or extend my spine, that shows that I have better relative movement at each individual vertebrae. Right? I have 24 vertebrae, they should all contribute a little bit of motion. So the better I can move with every joint, the better I will be able to then rotate, because now I get more contribution from each joint or each vertebrae versus getting a lot of motion at individual segments, right? So whenever you do the spine car, which is our thoracic, we call it thoracic spine car, or just a full spine rotational car, we always like to prime it with a linear spine, right? So everybody should do more spine work every day. If you are new to this, or if you haven't done a whole lot of it, really get good at those cat-cows, the segmental version. The better you can move each individual vertebrae, the better that these spine cars will do. So, not saying you can't do the spine car, but they will get better as you get better linearly. So, you can sit on a block, you don't have to. You can stay standing with like a good wide base, whatever position you want to set yourself up in. I'm going to be here, so I'm just going to collapse in position. I'm going to take the tennis balls, squeeze them nice and tight, and then I'm going to hold it here. So I'm going to kind of keep them right on top of my shoulders. I'm going to use these tennis balls to help me create tension. So chin will be in my chest, fold down, so then round out, full spine. Start with the tailbone all the way up. Keep the tennis balls nice and tight, keep the shoulders down, try to shrug. Rotate, lateral flexion, extend one segment at a time. So we're going just like the cow and the cat. Start the tailbone all the way up to the top. Individual segments contribute to extension. Rotate, lateral flexion, pull those elbows down. Through, rotate, lateral flexion, extension, extend, we'll pause and extension, rotate, lateral flexion, elbows pulled down into the body, come through some fully flexed again, so start tailbone all the way to the top, rotate left, flex left, and here start at the tailbone, extend your way all the way up. Now full cow again. rotator extension, lateral flexion, elbows pulled down, come through. Got one more time. You ready? Rotate left, flex left, extend tailbone all the way to the top, right? So you can see it from the side. You're getting, so if I was here, right? So the lateral flexion, I'm starting at the tailbone, and I'm extending all the way. So this good gradual curvature. It's not like a lot at the tailbone and a little bit from everywhere else. I'm fully extending. I will rotate, lateral flex, elbows pull into the body. Now fully flexed, good round spine. Very good. So that's our upper body carves with a little tennis ball help here. So from there, we're just going to go back through some of our joints, and then we're going to kind of tie it all together with a swimmer, we'll call it. It's similar to motion of the swimmer, but with the tennis ball. So first one, we're going to go back to the elbow carves, and then we're going to come to this position here. So we're fully flexed. So we'll squeeze the life out of the tennis balls, squeeze the life out of my biceps. We're just going to work on creating an isometric hold. So squeeze, I'm trying to pull my forearms into my biceps as hard as I can. Okay, from there, I will just keep that contraction. And I will rotate my palms forward as far as I can. And rotate it. That's one. Got 5 reps. Rotate forward. Rotate it. 2. Rotate forward. Rotate it. 3. 2 more. Forward. Last one, squeeze even harder, get more. Rotate, 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 squeeze, 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 squeeze. Last one, rotate not just to the body, but try to rotate away from the body out as far as we can and shake it out. So talk about rotation before linear, right? So think about an elbow. A lot of times people, a lot of desk workers spend a lot of time on the computer, spend a lot of time in the car. You spend a lot of time in this position, but if you don't have the rotation, that will lead to quote-unquote overuse, right? It's not the fact that you're literally using it too much, it's you're using it past what your body is capable of or past your capacity, more or less. So, like you think golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, all these things, it's not that you're using it too much necessarily, it's that you're using it too much in a way that your body doesn't have the ability to do it, right? So if I can rotate this far, but then my body is getting me here, or my activities are getting me here, that will lead to the overuse. Right, so think about elbow carves. We're getting flexion, extension of the elbow, but we're getting the rotation. So we do high level irradiation, high level squeeze. We rotate there. We really try to squeeze out more range of motion. And as you do these more, not only will the joint function better, right? Because now you can actually get into the deeper areas of the tissue that only get there really with full end range rotation. Then over time, you can push that range of motion a little bit further, and now, coupled with fails and others like that, now we can get to ranges of motion, I should say, without having to compensate, without having to force ourselves. So next one we're going to do is a external rotation lift off with the tennis ball. So we're going to do a little bit of external rotation work, and then we're going to go into some flexion work. So external rotation, if you've done our shoulder classes before, use a first rep to kind of test where you need to be. So someone with good external rotation can probably lift off of the block, say here. So if I'm here, I can lift off the block there, or if you need to go higher, you can lift from there. That's a good amount of external rotation. But do a couple of reps, and if you can just go from the floor. So if I'm here, forehead's on the forearm, I'm here, then I can just squeeze the tennis ball, lift from there. If I barely get off the ground, keep your arm on the floor. If you get a good amount, right? So for me, I can get a fair amount, so then I can go off of the side of the block. But then I know I've done this before, so I know that I can go up from here. You want to get just to where you're like an inch or two off the block. We're seeing 10 lift-offs, immediately into 10 flexion lift-offs, which I will show when we get there. So whatever you're using, blocks, shoes, books, whatever you want to use to lift off of, set up your obstacle so where you get about an inch off the block. Head on the forearm, tuck that tailbone, squeeze the glutes, lift it down. From there, just squeeze the tennis ball nice and tight, elbows in the floor, and lift, down. You have 10 reps, lift, down, 2, lift, down, 3, lift, down, 5, lift, down, 6, lift, down, 7, lift, down, 8, lift, down, 9, last one, lift, down, and 10. So now, you can take that same block, you're gonna throw it right kind of where your bicep would be next to your ear, right? So that'd be about here. So do the same thing. You're squeeze that block, squeeze the ball, hand on the block, tuck your tailbone, lift you down. And there you can go. Neutral grip, so thumbs up, or palm down, it's up to you. And there, make sure we're not shrugging, so try to pull shoulder into the capsule. 10 lift offs from here, so just think squeeze, lift, down. So then I can drag it like here. So, okay, so from there, and squeeze, tuck, lift, 2, lift, 3, lift, 4, lift, 5, 5 more, lift, 6, lift, 7, lift, 8, 2 more, lift, 9, last one, lift, and 10. Sides. We got extra rotation for the left arm. And we'll finish it up with some swimmers with the tennis ball. So here, extra rotation, so elbow will be right out from the shoulder. Set up my block. And there, set myself up. Tailbone tucked. Lift. 1. Lift. 2. You want to barely get off that block. Lift. 3. Lift. 4. Lift. 5. Lift. 6. Lift. 7. Lift. 8. Lift. 9. Last one. Lift. And 10. So you block. Go above the head. Bicep to ear. Ribs down. Body straight. And think trying to shrug. Right. So make sure you're here. And tuck and lift. 1. Lift. 2. Lift. 3. Lift. 4. Lift. 5. Lift. 6. Lift. 7. Lift. 8. Lift. 9. Last one. Lift. And 10. Whew, very good. Okay, so that was 10-10 for extra rotation and flexion. Now we'll tie it all in together. You can go back to collapse kneeling, seated, standing, whatever you prefer. We're going to go just similar to our swimmer hover. So if you've done those before, you kind of get the motion. Now we're going to go through it anyway. So you're going to take the tennis balls, you're going to squeeze it in your elbow pits. So it's right, just like this. This tennis ball will squeeze here. The tighter you squeeze your biceps, double bicep squeeze, the tighter the balls will stay. So if you lose it, that's okay. We just want to reset it. Go right back. So I'm going to squeeze my fists and squeeze the tennis ball between my elbows. Ribs down, core stays engaged. And then I will come up into shoulder flexion. I will come out. Very similar to swimmers or shoulder cars. Squeeze my shoulder blades together. Ribs stay down, try not to extend. Ribs stay down. I'm going to come back into extension, so my arms are behind me. And come through. Extend, squeeze those biceps. Out to the side. Come up as high as you can. Come down. And through. That is one. We've got 2 more there. Ready? So squeeze. This may be a little different, right? Because just like we talked about, you got to be able to do the shoulder car, right? But that doesn't mean we always have to do a straight arm, right? You can go bent arm, you can go slightly bent arm. It doesn't always need to be the same way, right? So 2 more reps here. Squeeze and squeeze. Flexion as high as you can go. Ribs stay down, core stays engaged. Reach back, squeeze back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Squeeze those elbows back as far as you can. Extend, so here, now I'm trying to extend my elbows. Trying to reach back as far as I can. Down, and reverse. Now extend. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Keep driving back as I come over. Up as high as I can with those biceps and those elbows. And back down. One more time, squeeze really tight. Pop those tennis balls. If you pop the tennis ball, bonus points. Just gotta go buy a new tennis ball, I guess. It's the only gift you get for that. Good, last one. Here we go, back up. Now it's reverse. Reach. Rotate, 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 rotate. Squeeze those biceps. Come up and over. As high as we can. And down. Let them go. Perfect way to end it. Tennis balls are done. Upper body is done. That was a tennis ball focus. A lot of cars, just getting the body moving, but just kind of give you some different ideas into how we can use tennis balls or really any object, like I said, any ball, right? Or just one of socks or really anything you got you can squeeze onto to help you create a little more tension, give your shoulders, give your upper body a new experience, right? So we're talking about, you want to have good variability, right? So not only just be able to do the shoulder cars from a straight arm position, but maybe a bent arm position, tight bicep position. I mean, there's a lot you can do, and that's the beauty of Kinstretch and the ability of this type of training is that as long as you get the prerequisites, or you're building towards prerequisites, say internal and external rotation, or you're really just being, smart and logical about your system, you're going to always kind of find new ways to train the joints and the tissue that you're trying to train. So again, thank you for joining me. Today's upper body focused, a little more than 25-minute Kinstretch class. I hope to see you at the next one.